Heute wieder Montag, 20 Uhr, und es ist eine weitere Folge der Purple Lounge. Und tatsächlich müssen wir uns als erstes mal entschuldigen, dass wir, ich glaube, gefühlt 3 Wochen nicht am Start waren. Es lag so ein bisschen an mir, an der Gesundheit einfach. Irgendwie hat mein Körper sich auch mal eine Auszeit genommen und ist uns so ein bisschen dazwischen gefunkt. Von daher seht es uns nach, aber versprochen, heute wird eine spannende Sendung. Und ihr seht, es ist reichlich viel los hier auf der Couch. Ich bin nicht alleine, ich bin nicht nur mit Charlie. Heute ist Hannah wieder da. Von daher, wir haben endlich, und wir haben lange über ihn gesprochen. Welcome to the show and welcome to the Purple family. Luke.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's amazing being here in Frankfurt already. Love being around the team and seeing the staff, the guys, the coaches. Everyone's been very welcoming, and I'm thankful to be on this setting here. It's really cool.
Wir erfahren dann noch gleich ganz, ganz viel über Luke und werden ganz, ganz viel mit ihm über die nächste Saison sprechen. Und sicherlich seht ihr noch 2 weitere Gesichter hier auf der Couch. Und zwar, die beiden haben im Adventskalender, und das ist auch schon eine Weile her, die Purple Lounge, einen Besuch in der Purple Lounge gewonnen. Und willkommen euch beide. Schön, dass ihr da seid. Und ihr werdet auch heute aktiv an der Show teilnehmen. Ich hoffe, ihr habt ein paar Fragen mitgebracht. Egal an wen, alles ist erlaubt. Und dann auch an euch noch den Aufruf. Hannah hat den Laptop dabei, wird den Chat betreuen, also Fragen an alle von uns und besonders an Luke. Löchert ihn und hört zu, was der QB zu berichten hat.
Jetzt ein bisschen Angst, dass du mir mehrmals betont hast, dass Fragen an alle gestellt werden können, was da heute im Chat passiert ist.
Wir werden es sehen. Mal schauen. Bevor wir aber die Sendung so richtig offiziell starten, hat mich Charlie um ein paar Minuten gebeten, die er am Anfang der Sendung nutzen möchte, um persönlich ein paar Worte zu verlieren.
Hannah scheint wohl keinen Ton zu haben.
Die auch wichtig sind.
Ich habe keinen Ton. Gar keinen Ton.
Dann, du kriegst immer das Mikrofon, weißt du, ein paar Mal nicht da gewesen und schon ist das Mikrofon das Liebste dir.
Ist das nicht so ein Drehregler?
Durch den Tisch, da wird es hart. Charlie.
Ja gut, ich nutze die Zeit mal. Also die letzten Wochen waren ja nicht nur aufgrund der Gesundheit von Flo, sondern auch aktuell auch aufgrund meiner Gesundheit einfach nicht. Ist dieser Backup, den wir 3 ja irgendwie darstellen sollen füreinander, nicht so wirklich gegeben. Von meiner Seite aus bin ich gesundheitlich aktuell nicht an einem Punkt, an dem ich eigentlich vor die Kamera treten sollte. Deswegen ist das jetzt auch heute mehr oder weniger das letzte Mal, dass ich da bin, zumindest für den aktuellen Zeitraum. Und bin jetzt auf jeden Fall erstmal für 2 Monate raus. Wollte aber auf jeden Fall euch nochmal einfach auch eine Begründung geben oder zumindest eine vernünftige Verabschiedung haben. Genau. Wie gesagt, bin jetzt erstmal gesundheitlich erstmal für die nächsten 2 Monate raus. Wie es danach weitergeht, weiß ich Stand jetzt noch nicht so ganz. Müssen wir gucken, aber heute haben wir die Show noch und dann sehen wir wie es weitergeht, ja.
Vielen, vielen Dank für diese offenen und ehrlichen Worte von deiner Seite. Wir natürlich wünschen dir alle, und ich glaube, da kann ich für die ganze Purple Family sprechen, dir gute Besserung. Ich habe es dir selbst gesagt, nimm dir die Zeit, die du brauchst. Hannah und ich probieren, dich hier adäquat zu ersetzen oder zu vertreten.
Ja,
und wir freuen uns auf die Zeit, wenn du wiederkommst. Und der Stuhl ist immer für dich reserviert. Von daher guck zu, dass du es schaffst, wieder fit zu werden und wir sind alle für dich da und ich glaube, das macht auch die Purple Family aus. Da musst du nicht alleine durch.
Das ist tatsächlich auch so eine Sache, das fand ich. Es gibt so ein, zwei Leute, denen ich mich anvertraut habe, auch logischerweise auch bei uns im Fanclub. Aber was mich ein bisschen überrascht hat, sind tatsächlich, da kommen wir auch dann später noch drauf zu, so, ich habe Josh jetzt gesehen, also Joshua Posnanski jetzt am Wochenende, er hat mich auch in einem nicht guten Zeitstadion erwischt. Also diese Anteilnahme, das ist schon, die ist da irgendwie, Coach Milan hat mir auch dann schon Hilfe angeboten und dann direkt weitergeleitet. Und das bedeutet mir schon viel. Das ist schon ich mache das auch, also ich bin nicht hier, aber es tut mir halt einfach nicht gut. Und auch wenn ich heute jetzt ein bisschen seltsam klingen sollte oder ein bisschen anders wirke als sonst, ich kann diesen versuchten professionellen Charakter einfach aktuell nicht halten. Also falls ihr irgendwas nicht versteht, schreibt irgendwie einfach in den Chat und dann versuchen wir es nochmal lauter mitzumachen. Ich nuschel aktuell ein bisschen viel, das ist so typisch bei mir, wenn ich mich zurückziehe. Aber ansonsten, umso mehr seid ihr draußen gefragt, Fragen zu stellen, weil dann redet Luke und dann rede ich nicht so viel.
Genau. Charlie, wie gesagt,
Ja.
vielen, vielen Dank und Kopf hoch.
Ja, muss.
So, dann glaube ich, sprechen wir über den aktuellen Stand.
Ja.
Und now we're gonna talk to you a little bit.
Sounds good.
You already mentioned it, and you said you came in, you flew in a couple days ago. Give us a little roundup of your first days back in Europe, because I know you didn't flew in to Frankfurt on a direct way, right?
Correct. So I flew out of New York on Saturday night, flew to Milan actually, stayed there for a few days, got to see some old friends and ex-teammates. And then from there I took a train down to Padova, which is where my wife's family's from. I stayed there a day, got to see my in-laws, had some stuff there that I need to bring over here since I left it there back in November when I flew out. And then basically one night in Padova and then took a plane from Venice to Frankfurt and now here we are. And just getting settled in, moved into my apartment today. Actually was there just before and was a little late for the podcast or the interview a little bit, so sorry about that. Sorry for making you guys wait. But just getting settled in Frankfurt and exploring the city. My sister's visiting as well, so I get to see the city with her as well, which is really cool. And then just the guys on the team really welcoming, trying to make time for me to show me the city and show me the different things to see. So everything is going well above expectations so far. So I'm really enjoying my time.
That's good to hear. Talking about the last years, I mean, you played a couple years in Europe now, so it's not new for you to play overseas and to be in a new city. Can you already tell us a little, or the difference between Milano and Frankfurt, and the first couple of days?
Sure. So I've been playing over in Europe for quite a few years now. And the first couple of years that I did play in Europe, I was always on a different team each year, trying to build my way up and make a name for myself. And then I settled in Milan in 2017 and been playing there since then. So about 7 years I've been playing in Milan, and then I thought it was time for a change and just to try and make another step to better myself and change the scenery, just to change things up. And Frankfurt was the right place for me, and I decided to make the move. The city of Milan and Frankfurt, they both have their downtown. It's a main city. It's not in a suburbs of random place, so it's nice. I kind of like being in the main city for sure. Frankfurt, one thing that really surprised me, I guess, a little bit was, when I first came in, I got brought to the office, and there was 8 interns working in an office, and just the level of professionalism and like the organization itself is, the level is really high, and it's really cool seeing that, to see like an organization very professional in this way. So that was something I noted for sure. We got the offices where, they can host meetings before practice to, get everyone on the same page, offense, defense, things like that. So just like the level of, organization within the organization, if that makes sense, is really top notch.
Okay, so you mentioned you've been here a couple of days now, and like we practiced last week as a full team, not with our imports yet, and you weren't allowed to be a part of practice, but I saw you watching from, quite distance.
Yeah.
What are your first impressions from the team?
So the one thing I really love about this team is that the level of intensity is, really high. Guys are, going at it all practice, trying to make plays and trying to make a name for themselves, obviously trying to establish themselves within the team. Myself and also another import are here, Divine. We get to watch them afar, and we just keep telling each other, like, I want to be out there, I want to be out there, I want to be out there. Coach K brings a level of intensity to practices that is, really good. Coach Frank also has a very, his level of positivity and like the good vibe that he brings to the team is amazing, and his breathwork stuff that we, can do after practice that we can participate in voluntarily is cool. So I'm trying to get into that as well to just diverge and like into the whole Frankfurt experience. So it's all going so well, and next week we get to start strapping them up. So I really look forward to that, and then getting things underway.
So Tuesday is the big day, right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So it's really just a week, just 1 week until all the imports can join training. I wasn't aware about that. I thought it would be in May or something like that. So
No, deadline is
I think it's the 21st on Sunday.
21st.
But we have practices on Tuesday, and like
That's right.
the rest of the guys are coming in like today, tomorrow, and like the day after, I believe. So
Today, I think
Good.
Carlos came in,
Yep, I met
and
him at the apartment.
Jay Liggins came in, right?
Yep, both those guys came in. Markel comes in tomorrow, possibly Hugo as well, I believe. And then I'm not sure about Steve and Sandro. I'm not 100% positive,
Yeah.
but they come in the next couple of days, I think, as well.
So a couple days of rest to get the jet lag beside and get your body a little bit, straighten it up. But yeah, Tuesday is first practice. So if you want to join practice, also wenn ihr am Dienstag nichts anderes vorhabt, 19:30 Uhr an der PSD Bank Arena, die erste Chance, das gesamte Team das erste Mal zu sehen. Von daher, kommt vorbei.
Und ich glaube, das wird auch hier auf der Couch schon genutzt werden. Genau.
So I just said on Tuesday is the first practice with the whole team, with all the imports, and since we have practice on a field and on an open field, our fans can join and watch y'all guys practice for the first time, and they just said they already marked it in the calendar and they'll be there.
The stand in purple will be present. Good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Oh, you already know our
Of course.
name.
I studied.
And I mean,
like it.
Luke,
That's cool.
what's your record in Frankfurt?
In Frankfurt, my record is 0-2. In Frankfurt, 0-4 against Frankfurt, because I also played back in the day against the Frankfurt Universe when I was in Kirchdorf, my first year in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact.
So I played against Luke.
Yeah.
That was back in the days
Back in the
when I
days.
still played.
Fun fact, I think my first game was against the Milano Siemen back in 2016.
17.
17.
17 with the all bright.
Yes, the neon fluo
Yeah.
jerseys, yeah.
Yeah.
That
the
game was probably one of the loudest games I ever played in. I think it was the first game that you guys were having that year. So there was the whole big like like tailgate stuff outside
Yeah.
the stadium, like inside the stadium. It was an experience that I have not.
Wasn't it
been a
a night game as well?
Yeah, yeah. It
It
was
was a
pretty
night
late.
game as well, I think.
I think it was like late afternoon for sure.
6 o'clock
Yes.
something, and yeah.
And you couldn't hear anything on the field, and I had to like scream just to like communicate in the huddle. It was crazy.
But your jerseys were legit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love the jerseys. They're like a little bit
Definitely.
Seattle Seahawks style.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. They were real nice.
So, for you, it's special because you played against him. For me, it's special because actually you were part of my first game. So
Awesome.
my
Let's
first
go.
actual football game. Yeah, and the first game I watched completely. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So you played basically all over Europe. Was there any experience coming close to Frankfurt somewhere?
To be completely honest, like every single place I played in, like there was always something that I liked about playing at that place. Whether it be like the location, the teammates in all my cities I played in, like really nice and really welcoming. I would say from an organizational standpoint, I think the Seamen, like the Milan team, was probably closest to Frankfurt. Again, I think Frankfurt is a step up. I think Frankfurt is like the top-notch program in all of Europe. So maybe there are no teams really that like can compare directly to Frankfurt. But like I think the Milano team also had a very good organization, and so far like yeah, that's my comparison between the two.
And when we talked before the show, I said I
yeah.
liked it back in Milano,
Yeah.
playing there. And I'm a soccer guy as well, you
Mhm.
know, and I like the fans with all those bengalos and
Yeah.
everything. I love them.
Yeah.
I know it's not,
Alcohol.
quite American football style, but since I'm a soccer guy as well, I love those guys, and I thought they were really cool.
Yeah, they came out to support us each game, even if the record wasn't the best. They were still there making a lot of noise, and always supporting us. So yeah, they were.
How are they called?
The Brigata di Mare.
Brigada di Mare.
Yes.
Where is the game that we were last year?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I remember.
Well, I came on stage or into the blocks with the bengalos and
Yeah.
with a was a maybe I'm just jealous, but it's
I like them.
because it's quite an entrance. They are pretty. At least I don't know if professional is the right term, but they are disciplined in staying back, staying behind, and giving themselves a big show. This was something I really respect as a fan and as somebody who enjoys the fan culture. So yeah, Milan was. The whole weekend was very great. So awesome.
I like the stadium as well. I mean, it was a nice stadium. And,
Yes.
I mean, how many people watched the game?
I don't know.
Almost 1,000. I don't know, but it
1,000.
sounded much louder.
Mm-hmm.
We were so loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just saying.
But the setup was pretty nice.
Yeah,
I
the setup's
just-
very, very nice. Turf field and like all enclosed. It's a really nice, location. They got like the 3 towers right behind the stadium, like beautiful
yeah.
scenery and stuff like that.
With the
The bike track around the field.
Yeah.
yeah, and outside the stadium they have a newly built area.
Yeah. City Life, it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was that actually looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
I haven't had the time to really look around it, but it looks cool. And
The only-
also the fountain that is near this area. There's a big fountain. It's kind of nice. So
The only thing I didn't like was the mosquitoes.
for sure.
Someone already said in the chat, like, there are less mosquitoes here, right?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
is this
It's a Milan thing in general, yeah. It's
Oh,
not just a
okay.
stadium, like all throughout the city. Like we used to practice on a different field, and even there, like come like June, you had to like wear like long sleeves and pants just because they would come out at night and just attack. And other teams thought that we planted these things to like bring the mosquitoes out, and it's like no way. Like,
Yeah, there was a rumor going around
No way.
that the team or the organization were spilling Gatorade the night
No.
before
no,
on the opponent's
that's
sideline.
bogus.
That was the rumor.
No, because
was going on.
during practice we would practice on that sideline as well, and it's just every single practice was like torture, and the people from like the facility were supposed to like spray the area with like anti-mosquito stuff, and it just seemed like it never worked or they never did it. So
That was kind of funny last year, though, those rumors.
yeah.
Talking about your Italy experience, you didn't just play American football or tackle football. You also played flag football, and you played flag football for the Italian national team. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. I've been a part of that since 2016. Same with the national team. I started playing with that in 2015, then flag football in 2016 when there were tournaments. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So, are you looking for the Olympics in 28?
Yeah, if the body holds up, I expect to be out there throwing the rock around. So, yeah, it'll be an experience.
It would actually be nice to see somebody at the Olympic Games you had in the show or could personally talk to.
I mean,
this is kind of
Josh
nice.
Poznanski is now on the national team for Germany,
Oh, yeah.
playing flag football.
Really?
So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those guys are kind of smart, That's
Okay.
your ticket to the Olympics.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on him and practice to know his technique so I can
yeah.
use it against him in the Olympics. Yeah, but flag football is a lot of fun. Most times I just play in tournaments because the season usually goes during our tackle season,
Yep.
so I can't do that. But playing flag football, brought me to many great places. I got to see like a lot of places throughout the world. And then the results we've recently in the World Games, the last competition I played in, we lost against the USA in the finals, which was a tough matchup. But we played with them for most of the game, and then just kind of got out of hand a little bit at the end. Lost by 10, but other than that, we went undefeated during that tournament, and it was good. Yeah, good times.
By 10 for flag football is not that much.
No, it's not.
But
If-
it's pretty close,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. If you just make one mistake, then that can change
Yeah.
a football game. So yeah.
I would say we go to the questions from the chat.
Hanna,
Maybe.
haben wir denn schon Fragen?
Yeah, we got a lot
Millions
of
of
questions all the time. So
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
let's go, Hanna.
So let's start from the top. The first thing, or one of the first things was, what was your favorite thing you did in Frankfurt till now?
The favorite thing I did in Frankfurt till now.
what favorite thing you saw like from sightseeing?
So yesterday,
perspective?
in the morning, I went on a walking tour of Frankfurt with my sister, and I got to see a lot of historical buildings that there are here in the city, and got to see one of the buildings. I forgot what square it was in, but it's like the only original remaining building in the city, in the square, that wasn't destroyed. From
That must be at the Römer? Am I wrong?
Yes, maybe, yes.
Römer.
Yeah, so they rebuild the
the whole square,
The whole
the size
square.
of one building, and they
Yeah.
can't rebuild that because it takes like millions of dollars to.
yeah, it's craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get specialized people with specialized equipment, and it's
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, tour guide was quite very informative. Like he knew a lot of stuff about the city, and gave us great tips and stuff like that. And he said like in order to touch that building, you need to use like the original materials or something like that. And it's like wild to hear stuff like that. But that might have been one of my favorite things. Also going up main tower and seeing like the scenery of the view of Frankfurt at night was really cool too.
Yeah.
Sunset.
So that was yesterday.
This was yesterday, correct?
Perfect weather.
the
then.
weather was
Yeah,
great,
it was beautiful weather. Yeah.
Okay, people are also very desperate to hear. I hope everyone can hear me now. If you tried and liked Epla.
What is Epla?
That's
I
the
did.
main
I did
question.
try typical Frankfurt dish last night as well.
Okay.
This
But
was-
which one is Epla? I'm not sure.
The
apple
the
wine.
drink, apple wine.
I did. I had it last night.
Cider.
Yeah, did you like
Cider,
it?
cider thing. Yeah.
I prefer apple Chorley,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Okay.
And maybe regular wine, but It was not bad. It was all right.
I mean,
But your buddy was all right after?
Yeah.
Okay, because people, you know,
there are people
they're
on
drinking
other channels.
they're drinking Epler and they're not feeling well after
I just
that.
had one glass. That was all.
Really?
Yeah, completely honest. It was more for the experience of tasting
Yeah.
something traditional from the city.
So what was your dish? Grüne Soße?
I had a schnitzel with Frankfurt green sauce and
Uh-huh.
potatoes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And then I had, for like appetizer with my sister, we tried the cheese with the onions.
Oh,
salad.
Handkäse.
Handkäse.
Yeah.
Handkäse,
Yeah.
all right. So you
Trying to divulge into like
Yeah,
the whole
okay.
full Frankfurt
Yeah.
experience.
That's good. That's
My
good.
German language is not there yet. I'm hoping maybe by the end of the season I'll be able to communicate, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean,
But you're studying German. I know that, right?
Yes, I will attend those classes that
Okay.
they offer to us.
oh, nice.
Hmm.
The
It's a-
goal is
it's-
to get those play calls in German
Correct. And I know
by playoffs.
yes, I know a few words from you. You taught me a nice little greeting.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was guten.
Guten Tag.
Guten, yeah.
Gute.
Gouda. Yeah, the one to like
Gute.
say servus, but the other-
Because he was coming in with Servus, right?
yes.
He came in
Yeah.
with Servus, and I said, well, you can't say Servus in Frankfurt. You got to say Gute.
Goody,
yeah.
goody, yes. So
It's true. Okay, one more question and then you can continue. Let's have a more serious question.
ooh.
One was, what do you answer to your haters that say you won't succeed in Frankfurt? A very deep question.
That's quite deep. That's a tough one. No, I'm just gonna, try and let my game speak for myself. I'm gonna go out there, work hard with the guys every single practice, on and off the field, and let the results speak for themselves. I'm not gonna really acknowledge the haters. I think that's kind of, if you get all caught up in that, then you can really lose yourself mentally, and I think that's not what you should be doing. So,
Good answer.
yeah.
And I also saw you were, I think that's okay to say, I mean, we saw, or you saw me, we
Yeah.
saw us, at the Wickham, so you were with Poznansky
Mhm.
and also with Sebastian Gauthier
Yeah.
and Daniel, so you are getting to know the team and your teammates. How important is that for you, and do you have a certain way to enhance the bond you need between you and your teammates?
I think building a bond off the field is just as important as the one on the field. Obviously, the more you get to know the guys off the field, I think the more stuff you can go through on the field, like whether they're good or bad moments. Like if someone doesn't really know you, then they might have a judgment on you. But also, like you said, like I was with Josh, Gauthier, DJ, Paul, Divine, Nico Strauman, Benny, the receiver from Hamburg. They came from Hamburg. We've all been, trying to get together and, just to get to know the guys. I think is really important for like the chemistry on the field as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, gonna have to work with my receivers also off the field. This way we can build the timing up. But I think just building a bond off the field with teammates will help transition to the on the field, and building that trust within the team.
So since you've been here now a week, and with all those calls you did with Coach Schumann before and a couple of receivers, what's your first impressions by seeing those? I mean, you can talk and see tape, and now it's here and now it's reality. What's your first impressions of the offense?
I really like Coach Frank's offense. I think Coach Roser is probably not the right way to say his name, but I think his offense is really nice and it fits my style of play. He has a really good offense that I think we will be able to utilize in great ways with our pieces that we have. Our offensive line is massive. That's a good sign. They'll be able to give me time, and then we have good running backs as well as good playmakers out on the edge at receiver. And I'm really impressed with like their level of play. Route running. They're really focused on running the route at the right depth. Right steps, this and that. So I think that's really important. on their behalf. And then obviously as a quarterback, I think Mo is doing a great job of getting them the ball, making the right reads, throwing the ball on time, and I just think all in all, like our offense is going to be a really good offense this year.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the things we've seen and heard the last shows from our German players, and especially from Moritz and Benjamin, so that they are here to compete and that they are here to really be there. And this is also one thing you said that you saw on the field. So how does this mentality makes you feel, or how excited are you in the competition against those players?
I mean, I'm ecstatic. I think that, best against best, like, in practice, I see like the starters going against starters, like in our purple period, it's called, a purple versus purple, where, guys are going at it. Obviously, no spot is, written off to a certain player. Everyone's got to work for their job, and I think that, the guys are, taking that to heart, and they're really pushing themselves to be the best version of themselves. And also with Mo, like, he's, a tremendous athlete, really good, quarterback, and, that's great for me to push myself, because it's like, people can, slack off and be like, all right, like, this is my job, so I'm going to do, like, what I want, but, like, having him there, like, nothing's for granted, so, like, can't take anything for granted, and I think him pushing me is going to be great as well, and I think Coach Conrad does a really good job of commanding the offense, the quarterback room, and, Coach Frank's offense and mentality and his philosophies are something that I see fitting with my game really well.
Actually, the second question I would have is regarding Coach Conrad, or Coach Bang, as we like to call him.
Coach Bang, okay.
And Coach Vast. So you had your first meetings via, I don't know, Zoom or something like that. How did you, or take us through, not exactly what you said, but maybe what kind of things are you talking, and takes a little bit into those meetings you have?
Sure. So we had weekly meetings with Coach Bang, I guess as you call him, and Mo and myself. Coach Voss also was on the first meeting we had as well, discussing, like his philosophies of football, and he said he'll be here, I think, in a few weeks to do our mini camp, if I'm not mistaken. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to, getting to meet him in person. I had a call with him for like an hour and a half the first time I ever talked to him, which was awesome. He's a really knowledgeable coach. And then also I got to send him personally some videos about like my throwing motion. He got to correct me on my technique and how I throw the ball. So I'll definitely be implementing that into my game as well. And then with Coach Bang and Mo, we have our weekly meetings where we discuss playbook. Obviously trying to implement the playbook. We're trying to go through the plays and like discuss the reads of like, all right, this is the first guy you should be looking at, then not go to the 2, 3 to 4, check down, whatever. And then also we watch the practices of the past week. So when they had the mini camps and whatnot, we would watch, the film and just discuss like what Mo was doing right. Most of the times he's doing everything right. And then if there was something that he maybe made a mistake, we would discuss that and say, all right, like next time you should be watching that, this guy, whatnot. But they've been going really well, learning a lot from both of them, and going to keep doing that going forward for sure.
Maybe that for you to understand why we call him Coach Bang.
Yes, please explain.
He also was a guest on our show.
Okay.
And Flo told a story about him, drinking too much energy drink, and that he favors Bang.
I haven't had Bang yet. Do you know Bang?
I've heard of it. I have never had it though either.
And he's kind of
I'm not an
addicted
energy
to
drink
Bang.
guy. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And he always drinks one can of Bang before the game. And on one game, he had 2 cans of Bang, and he went off. I mean, he almost, got Jacob's job because he was so hyped. And ever since, he's called Coach Bang. So
Makes sense. Yeah, but no, just getting to be in the same room with those guys and talking to them is great. And then obviously, I try to help out and discuss any points that maybe I know that I could help Mo with his game as well, just to try and pass on some knowledge. But it's a good thing about Coach Bang for sure. Personally, I'm not an energy drink guy. I like to be more like mellow and calm before games, just because I think quarterback is a lot of mental. And if you're like all hyped up, then like that hitch route that you might want to throw 6 yards ends up 60 yards, and it's not like a good thing.
But that's a good thing. Talking about you and your your kind of style being as a player before the game, or ich glaube, Hannah, du hattest eine Frage zu Game Day Ritual. What's your game day, or how does a game day looks, or what are you doing before a game?
So before a game, usually I'll go to the field early and go get my ankles taped is the first thing I like to do. Then I'll go out onto the field and barefoot, like roll out my feet, which is, I guess, weird, but roll out my whole body, like stretch. Then I'll listen to the same playlist usually and do my pregame routine.
What kind of music?
It consists of everything.
Okay.
Rap, hip hop, R&B. Sometimes I listen to some like Adele, even, to be honest. That's just a song you might want to be more like relaxed, and that could put me in that type of mood, I guess. I don't know. Then go in the locker room, and then usually right before heading out, I'll say a prayer that all my guys finish the game healthy and that we play to the best of our ability, and then basically go out there and play the game, perform.
So since we have a tailgate party, called Power Party, in Frankfurt, are the fans gonna see you at the party before? Because I know a lot of players walking around that, and I would say it's 50-50. 50% of players are in the locker room and are more concentrating and more kind of quiet, and the rest of the guys, they're walking around having chats. And so where do we find Luke before the game?
I will definitely be at a tailgate before a game, just to interact with some fans. Maybe I'll go super early, this way I can do that and see the people, and then basically get into my lock into about the game. But I'll definitely be at the tailgate after the games, communicating and interacting with the fans. I think that's an important thing, that the fans don't just see you on the field; they get to see you off the field and they get to know you as a person. I think that's important as well, of meshing with the city and the fan base for sure. But I don't think I'll be at the tailgates too often and walking around too much, because again, I like to put my time on a schedule kind of before the game, where I want to do this much time before the game and then go on, and I don't want the interacting with the fans take away from my preparation for the game.
So more likely to see you after the game.
For sure.
Perfect.
Do you guys have any question we don't want to?
Yes, one question. How excited are you to play for the Purple Hell, not against the Purple Hell?
Very excited, because like I said before, playing here in Frankfurt as an opposing team, you really can't hear much on the field, and that's never fun, just because it's hard to communicate with your offensive line who's right in front of you, or trying to get signals out to the receivers. They can't hear you what you're saying. So I'm very excited to be a part of the on the Purple Hell side, and this time maybe the crowd will be quiet when we're on offense. This way we can communicate how we have to, and everything will be heard. So yeah, definitely very excited to be a part of the Frankfurt Galaxy, 110%.
Someone already said that you look good in the new sweatshirt.
Swag, right? It's nice. I got this before I came here. It's a little small, but it's all right. It's doing well. Serving its purpose.
Is there something you'd like us to do as a fan club?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, you have to know they always do like crazy stuff. You can really say crazy stuff, like good crazy.
Yeah, of
Yeah, good
course.
crazy.
Good crazy is great.
Uh-huh.
Make as much noise as you guys make when I'm playing as an opponent. This way, we use that as an advantage. No, just nothing in particular. I don't know. But, be rowdy, be loud, and support and cheer for the Frankfurt Galaxy as you guys always do. You guys do a tremendous job of making a lot of noise and support. One of the cool things I really loved about after our game, the last time I played here this past year, was even though we lost, and we lost by a lot, we got to make our way around the field and shake hands with all the crowd, and they say, "Oh, great game." It's not like you guys are very, positive and always very, very respectful for the players, and I think that's important. I'm not a fan of people like disrespecting players because we put in a lot of time to try and perform to the best of our abilities, and sometimes things don't go our way, and sometimes I don't want to say it on here, but it's like you're this type of player. It's like, I guess if that's how you feel about me, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm still trying to do my best, and I think you guys, even after a game where we didn't perform so well, you guys really showed a lot of respect, and I noted that for sure, and I love that. So that was cool, and slapping hands with you guys and asking for autographs and pictures is a really cool experience for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we live kind of the spirit. Football is family and fans are friends. So yeah, that's kind of normal for us.
Awesome. Fish are friends, not food, like Finding Nemo says, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because of semen.
Wow.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
The men of the sea.
Yeah.
Is there, what's your favorite food? Because I'm asking that question because we had Dimmy here, our O-liner, and he was, we were talking about first practice, and his first play was a pancake against our D-line. And then we talked about his favorite food, and he said, well, of course, pancakes. Next practice comes, and there are like, I don't know how many pancakes. And not just pancakes, I mean, there were like all kind of, Nutella, right?
Yeah, of course.
We had marmalade, we had, I don't know, peanut butter. That was crazy. I mean, it was literally
That's the
crazy.
like,
Yeah.
they are.
That's awesome. That's
Here's
great.
your chance
My
to
chance.
to we had what else did we have this year?
They brought fruit salad to one of the games.
Oh, fruit
They
salads.
brought you some snacks.
Oh, I
they
had
brought
snacks.
They threw like all kinds of snacks and sweets at the cheerleaders.
So here's your chance.
My
Sideline.
chance.
So
Yeah.
here's your chance.
Yeah.
Tough question.
If you have anything,
I want to eat again too. Just saying.
I definitely don't want anyone bringing me eggs. 'Cause I do like eggs for like a nice breakfast, like a good American breakfast. But I do like schnitzel. And, however, I need to play quarterback and not become an offensive lineman. So please don't bring me a lot to the field because then I'll have to eat it and then, of course, I'll gain some weight. But
so how comes that you like schnitzel a lot? When did you have your
why?
first
I had my
schnitzel?
first schnitzel in 2013 when I was playing for the Kirchdorf Wildcats. And it reminds me of chicken cutlets. I don't know if this is like offensive to the schnitzel itself, but I'm a big fan of chicken cutlets, and they kind of remind me of chicken cutlets, and they're very, very good. So that's kind of why I put the two in comparison. So if you want to bring chicken cutlets to the field, you guys can bring that. That'd be amazing.
What is
Or
that?
schnitzel.
What are
A chicken cutlet is like chicken that's basically breaded.
yeah.
It's kind of like a schnitzel.
Oh, it's just okay.
It's like a flat chicken, like you can buy chicken from like
Okay,
the
so-
supermarket.
So
kind of
basically, it's
a schnitzel.
chicken schnitzel.
Just really
Yes.
okay.
Chicken schnitzel.
Yeah. Yeah,
probably
that's
have
absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh ja.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that
good
is.
to know.
Hühnchenschnitzel gibt's bei uns auch.
Ja, natürlich.
Ja.
So
Schnitzel Week.
no.
Weg.
Weg?
Ja, ich glaub,
Schnitzel weg. Oh,
What's a schnitzel?
schnitzel weg.
Uh,
Weg is like a
how's it called? A bread roll. Yeah.
bread roll, and the schnitzel is inside.
ja, that's also very good.
That's dangerous.
Actually, I think we
Good
Germans
use.
put everything into an egg roll, into a bread roll.
Because bread is the greatest thing, especially in Germany.
All right, those carbs.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But they taste good.
So another question, Hannah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Do you feel comfortable with your you know?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable with your accommodation? Oh my god.
Accommodations.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Is that the hard word?
Today, actually, like I said, just moved into my apartment, living in a nice area of Frankfurt. And then also, I just got presented with the car that I'll be sharing with a few teammates. So, yeah, definitely really accommodated. The hotel I was staying in was very close to the field also, so it was very easy to get to the field as well as to get to like downtown Frankfurt by foot or by, yeah, any sort of public transportation. But yeah, everything is top notch so far. Loving it.
You guys moved into new apartments this year, I think, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
There are a couple
The
new
new-
I
apartments.
think there's
Yeah.
2 apartments that are like in different areas of the city. Myself and Carlos are in like the same kind of like roommates in different like the same like apartment number, I guess you could say. And then I think a few other players, like I think Jay Liggins is living in that building, as well as Sandro and Steve, as well as Louis, the linebacker.
Yeah.
We're in like that one apartment. I think the other guys are in a different place, close to.
Downtown almost, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Downtown.
very downtown.
Yeah.
Dimi, for example, he's living.
And
Oh,
Dimmy,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Dimmy, the same. Yeah, Dimmy's in the
he's-
same place too. Sorry.
Oh,
So
Dimmy, I didn't
ah.
mean to forget you, Dimmy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I did not mean to forget you.
Okay,
So that's downtown. I mean,
so you
that's
all live in the same house.
It's like the
basically.
same
Or
building structure,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
different apartments throughout the building.
Ah,
Correct.
okay, then I know where you live actually.
it's
Yeah.
close to Alte
Yeah.
Oper,
Yeah.
Freskas.
So it's actually a very nice area to
Yeah,
be
again,
in.
I stepped foot into the apartment for about 2 minutes today
Yeah.
because we had to come
Yeah, of
to the
course.
field to get the car to be able to come here and do the show. So I haven't really got to enjoy the apartment and its location
but I
yet,
guess
but
you'll like it, and
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
it's pretty nice located.
Mhm.
Maybe a question, not directly from the chat, but you, I don't know. Do you know about our rivalry we had going on here at the Galaxy against Rheinfire?
Of course,
I did
yeah.
not know.
Yeah. I know. I just didn't want to mention it, and maybe he's talking about something different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yes, of
no,
course.
no,
I mean,
no, no.
Yeah, we all know about that.
There's only one thing, real rivalry. But okay. Within or for our home game, we will be at the let's call it special stadium for us. So the next step to, I think, the biggest stadium at least in this area here. And have you had a chance to see the stadium in Offenbach? So the stadium, our home game against Rheinfire will happen.
I have not seen it in person yet. No.
Okay.
I've seen videos where players have gone there and visited, and it looks like a tremendous stadium. So I'm sure in the next coming days, maybe now that I have a car, I can take it right over there and take a look at it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
Now let's talk about Rheinfire a little bit.
I shouldn't have triggered that.
Yeah, but, I mean, we have to talk a little bit about our opponents
For sure.
and our regular season. What do you expect, and what are your expectations, and what are your goals coming into the season? And obviously, it's going to be our first game.
Yeah. So obviously, coming into the season, like every game, you should focus on that one game. And obviously, they're our next opponent right now. They're the first opponent that we'll play against. So the goal is to go 1-0 against them. I'm expecting that they're going to be a very good team. Respectfully, I mean, rightfully so. They won the championship last year. They went undefeated. So I think you gotta treat them with that respect, but play against them without any fear. And I mean, just go out there and try our best, do our best, and prepare for them really hard, really well. I think that they'll be ready for us, and we'll be ready for them. And I think we just need to execute on offense, score as many times as we have the ball, which is very important against their offense, since they had I think one of the highest scoring offenses last year. And then I'm confident our coach what Coach K will do on defense. I think he always puts together a nice game plan to stop them from scoring. And yeah, I think, the benefit of maybe having a bye week in week 1 is that they won't see what we're doing offensively or defensively, and we get to scout them out. But also, that might be a negative that, you have your bye week 1, where you might need it later down the season in case you want, like, guys are banged up and need to get some rest. So yeah, just, high expectations against the Rainfire. I always, have the mentality and mindset to go 1-0 each week, and just to play my best. And I think the team is obviously ready to go and play against Rainfire as well. I think, our pieces this year are special. I think Coach K did a tremendous job of recruiting and getting pieces that we need to be able to defeat the Rainfire and get back on top where Frankfurt once was and where they belong. So that's, the goals.
I know, and Rainfire is a special game for all of us, but let's talk about our conference. And I mean, our conference, that's not just Rainfire and Galaxy. There are big opponents waiting for us. What do you expect from those other franchises?
I think Paris is doing a really good job of getting, homegrown guys back to Paris to play for their French franchise. I know their head coach personally, Coach Mathieu. I think is a great coach. He does some really good things on, defensive scheme-wise. Again, they have a lot of, players going back to play for their franchise. I got to play with actually 2 of their offensive linemen last year, and Thomas Fileccia and Lewis Thomas, who are tremendous offensive linemen as well. So they're doing a really good job as well. I think Hamburg is always going to be a tough matchup. I think they always put out a good team. Madrid is a new up-and-coming team that obviously just started this year, so they're going to be a tough matchup. Then we got Cologne as well. They're going to be a tough matchup. And I think our interconference game against the Panthers is going to be also a dogfight because they're, they went to the playoffs last year, and they're also getting a lot of good imports for this year.
They are hungry for sure.
So I think, we have our first 3 games against, some top teams, slugfest against, Rainfire, Paris, and then the Panthers is going to be good. I think, but also I think this is beneficial because obviously if you play against top teams, you're prepared, and, come playoffs when those teams, whoever makes it to the playoffs, they'll be well prepared. We're against a team that might play against, mediocre to bottom level talent. Maybe they're not going to be as prepared for the playoffs because I think every game that we'll play against is going to be a playoff caliber football team, which is good.
Out of your experience, which teams would you put in the playoffs right now? I know, it's a tough question.
That's a very tough question.
Just talent-wise and paper-wise.
Am I going by conference?
Mm-hmm.
So in the West, Frankfurt Galaxy. Then I will say Rainfire. Central, I'm going to go Stuttgart and Munich. And then from the East, I'm going to go Vienna and the Panthers. Those are, I think, the teams on paper right now that I think have, I think if everyone stays healthy and the roster that I got to see, I don't know all the homegrowns and all the imports because some teams haven't announced all their imports yet, then that's just my guess. Again, I could be proven wrong. It's probably
maybe with Berlin and Paris as wildcards.
Yeah,
on that in your picture. Yeah,
for sure. I think those 2 teams exactly could be jumping into the playoffs for sure as well.
Pretty much fits into my ranking right now.
It's basically taking the strongest teams and putting them into a playoff picture. That's basically it.
Well, yeah, but talking about Berlin and Paris, and I think there will be a surprise, which might be Madrid. Look at Madrid's imports and their Spanish homegrowns. I think they're putting a quite good show together.
Yeah, but you also have to see, especially in our division, that they have to not also get a good team together. They also have to compete against 2 former champions. that are hungry to either get a head-to-head championship, or in our case, we want to beat Rheinfire, and with that comes also going to the championship game, and also with Paris, and they have a very strong cast of homegrowns, and they already had one season inside the league, so they know how their opponents look like and how their opponents play. So I think the advantage that Paris has in our division against Madrid is way higher than Madrid, even though Madrid can have a very good team, no doubts about that, but it's just the division that they're in that I think will make the job to get into the playoffs very, very hard.
Bottom line, strongest division again, huh?
Yeah, I think it's like you said, not very easy for a new franchise to come into the league and to automatically go into the playoffs. I learned that last year with Milan. I mean, it's definitely a big step, and you need a lot of things from an organization standpoint, and obviously a financial standpoint, and a player standpoint. It's a big commitment for a franchise to join the league and to make a bang right away. So we'll see. Again, I don't like to predict things because I like to just focus on the Frankfurt Galaxy and do my thing. But you asked the question, I had to answer. So
Are there more questions, Hannah?
No, I'm fine. The chat is fine.
Maybe zooming out a bit from the season in regards of the league and to the league as a whole. How did you know about the league in general, and how was your picture, at least the first year or first 2 years with? So was the European League of Football a thing you noticed right away, or?
So yeah, the European League of Football started in 2021. Obviously, the time that it was developed was right after COVID. So I honestly thought that it maybe wasn't going to survive, to be completely honest, just because right after COVID, traveling was very difficult in general. All the restrictions between country to country, and I mean, being in Milan when COVID happened was a different story. It was the first major city outside of China where the whole thing spread, and we were on a tough lockdown. Couldn't leave the apartments at all. So thinking that a league where teams are gonna have to travel between countries, the year after, of me just sitting in the house and not being able to leave my house, was kind of hard to imagine.
Yeah.
But I do think that the league is how it's grown so far in the first 2 years is a great thing to see for European football in general. Just to see that the growth of the game in general is just spreading country to country, and I think it's going in the right direction for sure. Again, I think the first year was at 8 teams or 10 teams maybe.
8
teams. So again, from 8 to 17 teams in 3 years is doubling in size.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing a good job of running the league for sure. And at first, again, like I said, I wasn't fully convinced on the league, but then watching the league in year one and seeing the level of competition and the product that was there, the different camera angles and highlights and all that other cool stuff. I think they're doing a really good job to try and promote European football. And I think from my time when I first started playing, which was in 2013, I don't want to say that out loud, the amount that the growth of football in general in Europe has catapulted so much. Seeing games in London, be introduced into London, now into Germany and Munich and Frankfurt and stuff like that. So I think the game of football is just really growing, and it's awesome to see.
Next to you, do you have any, just American friends that watch the league or know of the league because of you, and how do they compare? At least they're gonna compare the league against the American football leagues, but but what do they think about?
So some of my friends obviously have been following me through my journey throughout Europe from when I started playing, and I think they've seen last year being a part of the European League of Football, they saw like how much better and professional it seemed of a league. With like the trading cards and just like watching the games from their stream, like they all like watch me play whatever, so they could see like, wow, like that looks a lot better than when you were playing in this country, or like the streaming in general, like as opposed to just having one camera from the side, you have like the ones from the back, the side, the close-ups and stuff like that. You have like the challenges like in the NFL. So I think they're doing a really good job of like I said, like the product itself is really well, and I think they saw like how much more professional the European League of Football is. And then obviously when you go on like social media, which is obviously something that's grown over time,
Of course.
they have like 100 and something thousand followers, and I think they can see it's a legit league. And of course you got guys that are playing in the European League of Football going to play in the NFL. Some guys made it there, so like it's
Turpin.
Turpin,
for
for
is-
example.
I think it's the best example you can, as of right now, give. I mean,
right. So I think like seeing guys didn't get a chance maybe back in the States, they come out here, they display their talents, and they get another chance back home, and then they go and they take advantage of it. And now he's I think an all-pro returner or something like that for
He's
the
a
Cowboys.
pro, he was a Pro Bowler,
yeah.
So
Just my question. Do you guys?
I have no question for Lou, but Flo, ich muss es bringen. Get the tables.
It's
The tables are safe. The tables are safe.
another insight from our show with
Venison.
regards to the Offenbach game, so our home game against Rheinfire. I don't know how that came up, but Flo was talking about the Bills Mafia and the Bills fans, and now he has to get the table, and he's gonna jump.
I
through the
said
table.
I sponsor one table.
I'll
And
throw a
if
couple
he
euros
goes
for a
for-
table. Why not? See you go to a table, it'd be cool.
Just for you to.
I have to drive you home,
I'll be there with the camera live, streaming live.
So
There you
you
go.
drive in one of the big cars with the sirens on top, all right?
Into the hospital.
Yeah,
Straight into the hospital.
Yeah.
direct route.
So everybody's looking forward to the first game. Tailgating, players, coaches.
Someone record this because I don't think I'll be able to make the tailgate that game. Just it's
Yeah.
Rainfire week 1. I want to be zoned in on game. So record that and share, please.
For
Thanks.
sure.
I bet it's gonna be
You have to record.
all
Find it on
over.
YouTube. As
I
crazy guy jumps
I
through
won't be
table.
there either. So
Social media,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
On ESPN.
There you go, right? There you go.
crazy German guys jump through table.
So if we don't
Okay.
have any questions left, I would say let's make it a wrap for tonight.
Yeah.
And Luke, thank you for your hustle today. I mean, busy, quite busy. So thank you for being here on the show. Vielen Dank, dass ihr da wart. Ich hoffe, es hat euch ein bisschen Spaß gemacht. Vielen Dank an euch da draußen. Next week,
Yeah, I was asking you if we're gonna spoil.
no, we're not gonna spoil the names, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting and
So
it's gonna
s-
be fun. And ihr da draußen habt euch lange diesen Namen gewünscht.
Also, ja.
Und
Okay.
jetzt hat es geklappt.
Können wir
Wir haben,
spoilern? Nee, ihr habt euch lange den Namen gewünscht.
ihr habt euch
Okay.
lang genug den Namen gewünscht
Okay.
und nächste Woche Montag wird er endlich da sein.
Okay.
Von daher habt ihr jetzt eine Woche Zeit zu überlegen, wen ich da meine.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on. It was a tremendous time, and I hope to be back on this couch maybe another time.
You surely will,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
in the season we're gonna have a screen here and we're gonna analyze plays and gonna paint plays and
He always
and
painting.
Yeah.
analyze your touchdown throws and your touchdown runs. So you're more than welcome to join us
Yeah.
on Mondays.
Cool.
And so, yeah,
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for tuning in, whoever's tuning in back in Frankfurt or wherever you guys are watching from. And
Yeah.
hope to see you guys at the field.
next week, Tuesday,
Oh, yeah.
7:30,
Yes, sir.
first time on the field.
Seeing the guys on the field.
Wer es bis dahin nicht aushalten kann, wir trainieren ganz normal morgen, Donnerstag und am Freitag. Und immer 19:30 Uhr. Wir sind da, von daher seid herzlich eingeladen, auch zuzuschauen. Und Charlie, dir das Allerbeste.
Ja, danke.
Vielen, vielen Dank nochmal. Wir sehen uns auch wieder hier. Und dann würde ich sagen, vielen, vielen Dank fürs Zugucken und wir sehen uns nächste Woche Montag. Macht's gut.
Danke. Bis dann.
You can say Gude as well.
Adios.
Goodie.